Yes, guys, it is fight night. Dillian Whyte is going to take on Jermaine Franklin tonight, and it's going to be a great fight. I'm really looking forward to this one. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be as even as a lot of people are making out. I mean, if you look at what the bookies are saying, it's 110 Dillian Whyte. You have to literally get 100 quid on him just to win a tenner. They really are in favour of Dillian Whyte winning this. But it's absolutely true. Jermaine Franklin has not faced the calibre of fighter that Dillian Whyte have. They're both knocked out over half their opponents. But there comes another danger with that. There really does, because we haven't seen what's going to happen when this guy gets pushed to this level. It could be amazing. You know, the first time we see these guys at this new level is when they really break into the big time, when they start making that top 10. Anything could happen in this fight. They can both knock each other out. They're both looking about the same shape. Franklin is 2 inches shorter but 6 pounds heavier. So, you know, but they're genuinely looking about the same shape. I don't give it much in how they're going to do for endurance, to be honest. It was great to see at the weigh-in them both come in the football shirts on the same day as England versus the USA. Let's hope that this fight is not a boring draw like that football match was. Honestly, I didn't watch it. It's just what I'm told. But yeah, good to see him supporting it either way. So the face-offs have been a bit interesting. So at the press conference, there were a lot of back and forth. Franklin's team referred to Dillian Whyte as a wounded lion because of his 2 recent losses, saying they're going to take him out. He's easy to take out as a wounded lion. And it got in his head. It clearly got in his head. I mean, he started just making just childish remarks and mimicking Jesse Addison. It got in his head. Dillian Whyte doesn't like to think that people get in his head. He doesn't like to show it. But the fact is, these guys were in his head in that press conference. And then at the weigh-in, we saw Dimitri Salita, so I can't remember the guy's name then. And, you know, we saw him have a bit of a comment. He called him a wounded lion during the face-off. Now, for me, although I said I think it's going to be more even, if you need to intervene during the face-off, at that point, you feel that you need to back your guy up to get into his opponent's head. I don't think you've got that much confidence. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems a little bit daft. I mean, the guy's a good fighter, or he was a good fighter. He fought some big names. Unfortunately, his biggest name, Amir Khan, it was a defeat. But yeah, the fact is the guy's a welterweight, and he's making these comments while stood behind his 6'2", 18 stone 5 giant. A little bit cowardly, not necessary. Let the fighters do the business at this point. But yeah, very, very interesting fight. I think it's all going to go down to who's more prepared, and it's hard to tell from things like the press conference, because Buddy McGirt, he's crackers. He's absolutely mad. The remarks he was making is all this, oh, it doesn't matter who we're going to fight. It doesn't matter. I train my guys just to fight for any eventuality. That's nonsense. If you're telling me that you haven't watched Jermaine Franklin while training your guy to fight Jermaine Franklin, that seems silly. Doesn't know anything about him, doesn't care about fighting for any eventuality. Now, when I'm training my guys, if I have a guy that's quite short for his weight class, then we do things to look at taller opponents. But the fact is, you know, if he's looking to, oh, this is what we do against a taller opponent, that's not what he's against. Of course, they're training specifically for him. They're not just training for any eventuality. They're not training for someone that uses a different stance. They're not training for someone that has different tactics. They're not training for someone who's a points fighter. They're training for this big knockout artist. I hope he's full of crap, if I'm honest. The guy's obviously completely insane. And I think he's just doing it for a laugh. I don't dislike the guy at all. I think he's entertaining. But there's no way he's as clueless as he makes out and gets hired by people like the White Camp. It just doesn't happen. So, yeah, and, you know, he made the remarks, oh, I've never seen him fight, but this is the first time I'll have seen Dillian Whyte fight. You've watched all his fights. Give over. So yeah, a lot of back and forth. It was interesting to see them getting each other's heads. This has been quite a mental fight so far. I think it's quite even in the ring as far as endurance is concerned, as far as power is concerned. It's literally going to be who the better boxer is on the night. I do give it to Dillian Whyte, but I do think it's going to be closer. If Dillian Whyte does get knocked out, I'm not going to be massively shocked. It's going to be a surprise. I do think that Dillian Whyte's going to win. It's not what I expect to happen, but it's on the cards that it could. These are both big, powerful guys. So let's see what happens. If you're following this, like and subscribe to the channel. Support the smaller boxing channels, and we cover all the top professional boxing, all the celebrity boxing, and all this local boxing too. We've got some great local and unlicensed boxers on our channel. Go give them a watch. Enjoy the fights tonight. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. It's got a big week in boxing coming up. So yeah, have a great time, guys. God bless you all.